We will complete definite integral, and we will talk about the comparison theorem. The theorem says, number one, if f of x is more than 0, that means integration of the f will be more than 0. I think that's it makes sense. It's logical. And also also keep in your mind, if f of x less than or equal 0, then integration from a to b of f of x dx should be less than or equal 0. Okay? We didn't write it because it is clear. If it is more, so the integration will be more. And if it is less, the integration of it is going to be less than 0. Okay? Also, if a function f is bigger than g, of course, for every x belongs to a and b, and same thing here, for every x belongs to a and b. So if the function f is bigger than or equal g, then the integration of f is bigger than the integration of g. And also you can know that if g of x is bigger than, or let's just say, if f of x less than or equal g of x, so the integration of f dx from a to b is going to be less than integration of ab of g. You understand that? Okay? Is that clear? See the first example. Prove each of the following. Prove each of the following. As you can see, the integration from 1 to 3 for x x squared minus 1. X squared minus 1. Okay. How can I do that? Easy. It's really easy. See how will I do it? I will start saying x is less than or equal 3, more than or equal 1. Because x is between 1 and 3. I think that is clear, isn't it? Yes. Okay, now I will try to build the function. First thing I need to do is the squaring. I need x squared, so I will square. Square what? Square all the sides. All the sides of this inequality. When I square 3, when I square it, it's going to be 9. Less than or equal x squared more than or equal 1 squared is 1. Right? Now I will subtract 1. Subtract 1 from where? From all the sides. From all the sides. So x squared minus 1 will be in the middle. 9 minus 1 is 8. 1 minus 1 is 0. So as you can see, the function is more than or equal 0. It's more than or equal 0. Therefore, the integration from 1 to 3 for the function, which is x squared minus 1 dx, is more than or equal 0 as requested, proved. So we proved what's wanted. right? Okay, the next one. The next one is the same, but it has new idea. I want to show it to you. As you can see, the integration is from 0 to 1. So I will start from x, saying x is less than or equal 1, more than or equal 0. What do I need? I need to cube it, right? I need to cube x. So it's going to be x3, and cube 1 is 1, 0 cube is 0. Now I need to subtract 3. I need to subtract 3, so it's going to be x to the power of 3 minus 3. Okay, here also minus 0 minus 3 is minus 3. 1 minus 3 is minus 2, right? It is minus 2. So now I need to flip. I need to flip, right? I need to find the reciprocal. To flip, to have, to complete building the function. So when I flip, this will be 1 over x3 minus 3, right? And this will be minus 1 over 3. And this will be minus 1 over 2. But now see, which bigger? Let's just say this is the number line, and this is 0, and this is minus 1. So this thing in the middle is going to be minus half, right? Where is minus third? Minus third is here, minus 1 over 3. So as you can see, minus 1 over 3 is bigger than minus 1 over 2. So I need to flip, to reverse the sign of the inequality. Why? Because when I flip, I have to reverse the sign of the inequality. You understand? Do you feel that? Does that make sense?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, because the function, okay, is bigger than the small and less than the big. The bigger here is 1 over 3, and the smaller is negative 1 over 2. That's why I need to reverse the sign of the inequality. So as you can see, the function is always negative. The function is always negative because it is less than, it is always in this place. It's less than or equal negative 3, negative 1 over 3, I mean. So the integration of it should be, therefore, integration from 0 to 1 for the function dx has to be less than or equal 0 as wanted. So we proved that. Can you tell me when must we reverse the sign of the inequality? When that should be done? When? There are 3 cases, 3 important cases. Can I write them here? When we flip, as we say here, and when we multiply by negative, or divide by negative. You remember this? We studied this in grade 10 in IGCSE math. You remember?
Yes.
Okay, good. Keep these in your mind. Keep them. Still one case, but I will not discuss it now. Okay, take a screenshot so we can move. Next question, I will need to... We want to prove that integration from 1 to 4 for x squared is less than integration from 1 to 4 for x3. How can I do that? This is function and function. So I will use the second part of the theorem. the second part. You remember the theorem? What was the theorem? The theorem says if the function f of x bigger than g, then the integration of f is bigger than the integration of g. Now I need to use that part of the theorem to prove this. How? See how will I do that. I will say x squared minus x to the power of 3. Okay? Factorize it. Factorize this. This will be x squared bracket 1 minus x. Okay? Now, I will take two functions. I will take x to the power of 2 and 1 minus x and deal with each one alone. I will take x squared here and 1 minus x here and try to build them up. How can I build it? Listen. I will say x is less than or equal 4, more than or equal 1. I think that's clear. Then I will square all sides. So x squared, and here 16, and here 1. So as you can see here, x squared is between 16 and 1. That means it is always positive. It is always positive. Okay? Now let's just study the function 1 minus x. I will start the same step. I will say x is less than or equal 4, more than or equal 1. Now I will need to multiply by negative 1. Multiply by negative 1. Why? So I can have minus x. It's going to be minus x minus 1 minus 4. And because I multiplied by negative, I need to reverse the sign of the inequality. I need to reverse it. Okay. Now I will need to add plus 1. So it's going to be 1 minus x. 1 minus x. I added 1. I added 1. Because this is plus 1. Okay? So minus 1 plus 1 is 0. And minus 4 plus 1 is minus 3. So as you can see, the function 1 minus x is always negative. Why negative? Because it is between negative 3 and 0. It is less than 0 and more than negative 3. So it is in the negative side. In the negative side of the number line. So when I multiply, I want you to see that x squared, this one, is multiplied by 1 minus x. When I multiply positive by negative, what will I get? I will get that, x squared, x squared multiplied by 1 minus x. See, I multiplied positive by negative. What will I get? I will get negative, less than or equal 0, right? That will be less than or equal 0. Now open it. X, multiply this by this and this by this. It's going to be x squared minus x3 is less than or equal 0. Now take this to the other side. So x squared is less than or equal x3. So this function is less than this. Therefore, integration from 1 to 4 for x squared dx should be or must be less than or equal integration from 1 to 4 for x3 dx as wanted, proof. This one. How can we do this? I will do the same. I will say it's a function and function. See? Square root and cube root. I will say square root of x minus cube root of x is equals to x half, right, minus x 1/3. Does that make sense for you?
Yes.
Okay, good. Because the root is 1/2 and the cube root is 1/3. Okay, how can I factorize this? I will take 1 to the power of x to the power of 1/3 as a common. What still I have? X to the power of 1/6 minus 1. Why? Why? Because x to the power of 1/3 times x to the power of 1/6 is x to the power of half. Because see, 1/3 plus 1/6, what will I do? Crisscross mile. It will be 18, 6 plus 3. It is 9/18, which is 1/2. Right? You understand? You understood this point. Now I will study two functions. The first function, I will study this, x to the power of 1/3, which is the cube root, and I will study x to the power of 1/6 minus 1 separately. I will say x is less than or equal 1, more than or equal 0. What if I take the cube root for all sides? So x to the power of 3rd is going to be, what is the cube root of 1? It is 1. What is the cube root of 0? It is 0. So as you can see, this function is always positive. It is always positive. While x less than or equal 1, more than or equal 0, take the 6th root for all the sides. So x to the power of 1/6. What is the 6th root of 1? It is 1. What is the 6th root of 0? It is 0. Now subtract 1 from each side. So x to the power of 1/6 minus 1. 1 minus 1 is 0. 0 minus 1 is minus 1. So as you can see from here, that this function is always negative. It is negative. Then the multiplication between then x 1/3 multiplied by x 6 minus 1 should be less than 0. Okay, why? Because it's multiplying by between positive and negative. Okay, now open it. It's going to be x to the power of half minus x to the power of 1/3 less than or equal 0. So root x, okay, minus cube root of x is less than or equal 0. Take this to the other side. So root x is less than or equal root cube root of x. So this function is less than this. So integration from 0 to 1 for root x dx is less than or equal integration from 0 to 1 for cube root for x dx. Proof it. I think that's clear. That is clear. It is not, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, good. Good. We still have one question. Okay, the last idea here, I will use the same technique. How? I will say I will say x squared minus 2x plus 1. Why plus 1? Because it's minus for this and this. Equal. Factorize it. Factorize this. It's going to be 2 brackets. X and x. Minus and minus. Two numbers, when you multiply them 1, when I add them 2, it's 1 and 1. So this is x minus 1 all squared. Right? Now try to build this function. How can I build it? I will start saying x is less than or equal 4. More than or equal 1. Now subtract 1 from each side. So it's going to be x minus 1. 1 minus 1 is 0. 4 minus 1 is 3. Now square all sides, all the sides. So this will be squared. This will be 9. This will be 0. So as you can see, the function, this function, is always positive because it's between 0 and 9. So it is always positive. So, what will I say? I will say x minus 1 all squared is always bigger than or equals 0 because it is always positive, right? Now open it. It's going to be x squared minus 2x plus 1, right? By smiley face is more than or equals 0. Now, what will I take to the other side? I will take this and this. I will take them to the other side. What will happen?